I'm about to reveal the 5 crucial traits that separate billionaires from everyone else. But here's the thing, if you can't stay focused for the next 10 minutes to learn these traits, I've got some news for you. You're probably not going to make it in business. This video isn't for daydreamers. It's for people who are serious about success and willing to put in the work. If that's not you, you might as well click away right now. Still here? Good. Because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to break down exactly what these traits are, why they matter, and how you can start developing them today. Whether you want to build a billion-dollar empire or just take your career to the next level, this information is critical. My name is Ben Handler. I bootstrapped Australia's largest buyer's agent business in my 20s, buying $3 billion worth of property. But I didn't start out successful. I had no experience, no connections, and just $5,000 to my name. What I did have were these 5 traits I'm about to share with you. If you're ready to learn, and more importantly, take action, let's dive in. Trait 1, relentless drive. When I started my first company at 25, I had no experience in real estate, no connections, just $5,000 and a burning desire to succeed. And let me tell you, that desire, that drive, it's what kept me going through 100-hour work weeks and countless setbacks. Every billionaire I've studied has this same relentless drive. Take Elon Musk, for example. The guy works 80 to 100 hours a week consistently. When Tesla was on the brink of bankruptcy, he was like sleeping on the factory floor, like working around the clock to solve production issues. Or look at like Jeff Bezos. In the early days of Amazon, he was packing boxes himself until 2 a.m. These people aren't just passionate about their work, they're obsessed with it. Now, I'm not saying you need to work yourself to the bone, but what you do need is that unwavering commitment to your goals. When I was building my buyer's agency, there were times where I'd been on a date reading a business book while waiting for my food. Obviously, my girlfriend was not thrilled about it, but that level of dedication is what it took to turn a 2-person startup into a multi-million-dollar company. So ask yourself, how bad do you want success? Are you willing to put in the hours when everyone else is relaxing? Are you ready to push through the failures and keep going? Because that's what it takes. That's the kind of drive you need to cultivate. Now, before we dive into the second trait, I want to take a quick moment here. If you're finding value in this breakdown of billionaire traits and you're serious about developing that relentless drive we just discussed, do this right now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. I release actionable content like this every week, breaking down the strategies and mindsets of the ultra successful. All right, now that you're part of this community of future billionaires, let's move on to the second trait. Trait 2, sales mastery. This is the trait that every billionaire seems to have, but not enough people know about. They're all incredible salespeople. And I'm not just talking about selling products. I'm talking about selling ideas, visions, and themselves. When I started my buyer's agency, I had 0 sales experience, but I quickly realized that if I couldn't sell my vision, my company would never get off the ground. I had to learn fast, and I mean fast. Look at Steve Jobs. The guy wasn't just a tech genius, he was a master salesman. He could walk into any room and convince you that a rectangle with a screen was going to be the most revolutionary thing you'd ever seen. And you know what? He was right. Or take Mark Zuckerberg. Early on, he had to sell his vision of Facebook to investors, to potential employees, to users. He was selling a future that didn't exist yet. And he did it so well that billions of people, they bought it. Here's the thing, sales isn't about being pushy or manipulative. It's about belief. When you truly believe in what you're offering, whether it's a product, a service, or an idea, that conviction shines through. People can feel it. I remember when I was first pitching my buyer's agency concept, I was going up against people who did not believe in what I was providing or selling. On paper, I didn't stand a chance, but I believed so strongly in what I was doing, in how it could help people, that clients couldn't help but get excited too. So, how do you develop this trait? Start by getting crystal clear on your value proposition. What problem are you solving? Why should people care? Once you've got that nailed down, practice articulating it. And I really mean practice. In the mirror, with friends, with strangers, if you have to. And here's a pro tip, learn to listen. The best salespeople aren't just great talkers, they're great listeners. They understand their audience's needs and tailor their pitch accordingly. Every interaction is a chance to sell. Whether you're in a formal business meeting or just chatting with someone at a cafe, you're always selling your ideas, your skills, and your vision. Master this, and you'll be amazed at the doors that open for you. Trait 3, adaptability and continuous learning. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Despite their massive success, billionaires are often the first to admit that they don't know everything. In fact, their ability to adapt and learn constantly is a key part of their success. Things are always changing in every field. Market conditions shift, new technologies emerge, and client needs evolve. To stay ahead, you've got to be willing to adapt and learn continuously. Take a look at Bill Gates. The guy, he dropped out of Harvard to start Microsoft, but he never stopped learning. He's famous for taking think weeks, where he isolates himself to read and ponder new ideas. It's not just tech books. He reads about everything from public health to climate change. Or consider Warren Buffett. Despite being one of the most successful investors of all time, he spends about 80% of his day reading. He's constantly learning about new industries, new trends, new opportunities. The world is changing faster than ever, and what worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. Billionaires understand this. They're not afraid to pivot when necessary, to admit when they're wrong, to learn new skills. So, how can you cultivate this trait? First, develop a learning mindset. Be curious about everything. Read widely, not just in your field, but in areas that interest you. You never know where the next big idea might come from. Second, be willing to admit what you don't know. It's not a weakness, it's an opportunity to grow. Surround yourself with people who are smarter than you in different areas. Learn from them. And finally, be ready to change course when needed. Don't get so attached to your ideas or methods that you can't see when it's time for a change. The most successful people are those who can spot shifts in the market or in technology and adapt quickly. The ability to learn and adapt isn't just nice to have, it's essential for success. Stay hungry for knowledge, stay flexible, and you'll be amazed at how far you can go. Trait 4, calculated risk-taking. Now, let's talk about a trait that makes most of us uncomfortable, risk-taking. But not just any kind of risk. I'm talking about calculated strategic risks. When I was 25, I left the corporate world to start my own buyer's agency. I'd never run a business before, never bought property, and I didn't have any of the usual skills that you would need. But I saw a problem in the market, a gap that needed to be filled. I did my research and understood the potential and took the leap. It was a big risk, but a calculated one. 10 years later, my company had amassed over $3 billion worth of deal flow in property. Every billionaire I've studied has been willing to take significant risks. But here's the key. They're not gambling. They're making informed decisions based on careful analysis and a deep understanding of their field. Think about Elon Musk. When he founded SpaceX, everyone thought he was like crazy. A private company competing with NASA? Impossible. But Musk saw an opportunity that others missed. He did his research, understood the market, and took a calculated risk. Now, SpaceX is revolutionizing space travel. The thing is, you can't achieve extraordinary success by playing it safe all the time. At some point, you've got to be willing to take a leap. But, and this is crucial, it's not about being reckless. It's about doing your homework, understanding the potential downsides, and then having the courage to act when you see a good opportunity. So how can you develop this trait? Start by becoming an expert in your field. The more you know, the better you can assess risks and opportunities. Then practice making small calculated risks. Maybe it's trying a new marketing strategy or introducing a new product line. Learn from these experiences. Every great success story involves risk. The trick is to be smart about it. Do your research, trust your instincts, and be willing to step out of your comfort zone. That's where the magic happens. Trait 5, unwavering vision. The final trait we're going to discuss today is having an unwavering vision. Every billionaire I've studied has had a clear, compelling vision of what they want to achieve, and they stick to it no matter what. When I started my buyer's agency, I had a vision of changing the way people bought property in Australia. I wanted to level the playing field for property buyers, giving them the same expert representation that sellers had always enjoyed. That vision drove every decision I made, even when times got tough. Look at someone like Steve Jobs. His vision wasn't just to make computers, it was to put technology into the hands of everyday people in a way that was intuitive and beautiful. That vision guided Apple through decades of innovation, from the first Macintosh to the iPhone. Or consider Jeff Bezos. His vision for Amazon wasn't just to be an online bookstore, it was to be Earth's most customer-centric company. That vision has driven Amazon to expand into countless new areas, always with a focus on serving the customer. Having a strong vision does two things. First, it gives you direction. When you're clear on where you're going, it's easier to make decisions about how to get there. Second, it inspires others. A compelling vision can attract talented people to your team and motivate them to do their best work. To develop this trait, you've got to start by getting crystal clear on what you want to achieve. What impact do you want to have on the world? What problem are you solving? Write it down, refine it, make it as clear and compelling as possible. Then communicate your vision at every opportunity. Share it with your team, your customers, your investors. Let it guide your decision-making and your strategy. And most importantly, stick to it, even when things get tough. A strong vision isn't just a nice to have, it's the North Star that will guide you through the challenges and setbacks that inevitably come with building something great. These 5 traits, relentless drive, sales mastery, adaptability and continuous learning, calculated risk-taking, and unwavering vision, they're not just characteristics of billionaires. They're the building blocks of success in any field. Whether you want to make your first million or just take your career to that next level, these are the traits you need to cultivate. But knowledge without action is useless. So here's what I want you to do right now. Pick one trait from the list, just one. In the comments below, tell me which trait you're going to focus on developing first and why. Then take one concrete action in the next 24 hours to start developing that trait. Maybe it's blocking out 2 hours for focus work, or perhaps it's signing up for a sales course to improve your sales mastery. Whatever it is, commit to it right now. Remember, every billionaire started exactly where you are. The only difference, they developed these traits and took massive action. If you're serious about leveling up your life and your career, don't just watch this video and move on. Take action. Comment below, commit to developing one trait, and let's start this journey together. And hey, if you found value in this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you haven't already.